Hi, and welcome to our Aim for Good video series. We designed Aim for Good with the hope that we could connect individuals in this community and provide different resources to shine light on local nonprofits, people that might be in need, any different resources that we could provide out there for you.
This video series is intended to provide relevant information from industry leaders and also connect and highlight our colleagues, our friends, our clients to nonprofits in need.
Please stay tuned at the end of the video as you'll see different links that we discussed during the conversation so that you'll be able to contact them directly and help anyone in need. And also, make sure to subscribe to our channel as we'll be updating these videos on a regular basis. Thanks again for joining us.
Okay, hi Zach. I'm just to kind of start off. So I've known Zach now for a few years. I was introduced to him when our kids were doing musical theater together, and Zach is currently a city council member for the city of Temecula, and it's been fun for me to watch him go from a backstage theater dad with me and our kids to knowing all the stuff he's doing with the school district, both as a parent and as an employee, and now kind of representing the city and working as a city councilman. So I know you've lived in Temecula, Zach, for, I think it's over 20 years, longer than I've been here, a longtime resident. So we just wanted to connect with you to get some perspective on what's happening with this coronavirus in the city of Temecula, what we could tell our friends and our clients that they could be doing to support the city or just better inform themselves. And then, like I said, we get to see your beautiful bearded face. And I get to watch you on a regular basis on you've done that cooking show where I got to learn how to do that pour over coffee, which meant a lot to me, but I don't have the patience to do it. So that's been fun too.
You're big time when somebody does a caricature of you. I saw that on Facebook the other day. That was awesome. You got your own logo. That's impressive.
Tony's great.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I'll follow up with that, Adam and Mark. So thanks for inviting me on to your show. Do we have a working title yet for this?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah,
Mark,
way to throw us off.
Now you have to have one.
Well, so we've been more recently going away from a specific charity and this Aim for Good that Mark started. It's an opportunity for us to connect with multiple charities on a bigger level and provide, I guess, more significant support. So this has been kind of through our Aim for Good channel that's connected to our business, but I don't know if you want to call it Aim for Good with Zach. Something to consider.
We'll come up with something creative, I'm sure. So.
All right.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on this tour with us. We're new at this ball game, but we appreciate your partnership, your friendship. I've lived in Temecula for almost 30 years, and it's always been a wonderful place to be and a wonderful city to partner with, on our foundation and different things of that nature. And I've been excited to see you on the board and all the hard work you've been doing. So it's been good to see. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. And my wife and I have lived here for 20 years, and we've been involved in obviously with the school and since Jennifer's a teacher, and we have 3 kids in high school, middle school, and elementary. So moving to this distance learning, it's been an interesting journey to watch our kids do that, and then to watch Jennifer try to do that and move to distance teaching. So you have several different lenses that I'm trying to look at this through, and then throw on city council and looking to manage a city the size that we are, and the challenges that we're facing is it's been a 24/7 for our family, really, and probably not much different than most families trying to manage this in their own way.
What are some of the I guess city specific challenges that you guys are working through?
Well, I think the top will be our budget. I think that's going to be the biggest impact when you're looking at sales tax deferments. You're looking at TOT. Some of our hoteliers are just not remitting their TOT taxes, and when you look at, we're coming into budget season. May is typically our budget workshop, and then we work through the next couple months after that to work on a budget. Just to be brutally honest, it's going to be brutal.
Wow.
The the loss of revenue that we're seeing right now. And the CARES Act and a lot of that funding comes down, but cities under 500,000 residents are sort of left out of that loop. So it's left to the state and then to the county to figure out how best you need that money. So we're really going to probably struggle. That'll be the biggest thing. And I know our city manager and that exec team is really pouring over that and trying to figure out, well, what is that going to look like? We've shut down everything that the city does from a community services standpoint, from all of our facilities and the theater, the museums, just everything has just been shut down. So we lose revenue on that end as well, because some of our contract classes actually provide revenue for the city. So, I think the biggest one is just going to be that budget. What is that going to look like? And I think we're in a good financial situation from a reserve standpoint, but it's just the uncertainty of what is this going to look like? Is this going to go on for how many months? And what does that recovery look like?
And are you
from
guys...
a city,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
From a city perspective, when you see like the LA mayor or the governor of California, and they all have their different timelines that they're looking at from that perspective. I mean, where does this fall in? Is it Riverside County from that perspective that would make the call when some of these things are going to be able to open, or are we, as a city, do we make that call?
Yeah, so the city doesn't have its own health department, so we look to Riverside County Department of Public Health for the guidelines. And in turn, they're looking to the state for guidelines. So it's sort of this everyone's looking up for what happens next. We had a conversation this morning with respect to what does that look like opening things back up, and what is our transition. And you have at the federal level saying, oh, we should do this, and the state level, different states are doing different things, but you have the California governor saying, this is what our plan should be, and Riverside County is different than LA County. And so it's really having that conversation at the local level and pushing that up to the Riverside County level, to that public health department, and saying, okay, what does this look like? Give us a timetable, give us a strategic plan to move out of this, and what does that look like? So the city is bound to follow the health orders from Riverside County. So if we wanted to open up business tomorrow, it would not happen. We would be forced to shut everything back down per Riverside County. So everyone's essentially we're looking up to Riverside County.
Makes sense.
And are you guys, do you guys have any influence on what is an essential business? Because I know, I've talked to my sister lives up near San Francisco, and their version of essential is completely different than what it is down here. But is that something that you guys are evaluating, or again, does that go to the county level?
Well, yeah. So, short answer, it goes to the county level, but that doesn't stop us from trying to influence that and say, like, local government knows ourselves best, right? Like, we know what we need here, and we want to advocate for that at that county level, where they can sort of reevaluate that. We got an email this morning because we were having a conversation about why is it okay to go to Starbucks, but I can't go to church on Sunday, even if it's in a drive-in type of setting. And the email this morning is the state attorney general has reevaluated that stance, and saying that drive-in church services will now be allowed. So they'll push that down to Riverside County, then Riverside County will amend that health order, and then folks in Temecula will be able to go to church again. So we do have influence, I guess is the best way to put it, and we can let our District 3 rep, which is Chuck Washington, know how we feel, and they can have that conversation with public health when they meet with them.
So for me, a lot of stuff is brand new, right? Like what you're saying, I'm hearing for the first time. How does someone, is this information out there that people can get on the city website or your city Facebook or what? A lot of honestly, I learned about the farmers market from you on social media, because that was something our family goes to, and wanting to continue to do that, and then just the concerns about it. But how do people find out this info,
Right, so the city of Temecula has a dedicated website, and it's temeculaca.gov/coronavirus. So there's a dedicated website specifically for all things related to this right now, and that's updated regularly. But the county also runs their Riverside County Department of Public Health runs a website that is updated with the health orders, with guidelines, with governor's orders, with real-time stats. They're updated daily with admissions to hospitals, ICU beds, and discharges and things like that. So between the county with that information and then with the city, there's a lot of information out there. But is everyone getting access to that?
No.
It's probably not realistic that everyone is, but it's out there.
From an advocacy standpoint, you mentioned obviously trying to help small businesses and whatever way you can. Is there anything that you could share that even the city has as a resource, or obviously a lot of these different federal funding programs that are trickling down, it's up to the local business owners to pursue those through their lenders or whatever they can do. But is there anything that you would say as a council member from a Temecula city standpoint that they should be looking at, or any resources that you might offer to them?
Yeah, so in conjunction with that, the coronavirus website on our website, there's also it's called Temecula. It's temeculaca.gov/revive, and so it's how do we roll out of this? And so that will be a resource for local businesses, nonprofits, residents. There's so much information out there right now that it's just almost overwhelming, the amount of information you have to pick through. So strategically for us, it's going to be, our task to make sure that residents know about what's out there, businesses know what's out there, nonprofits know what's available to them, and help them pursue that. And so, the ball is still rolling, so we're going through this in real time. So we're trying to just get that information out, which is, why you see our mayor posting as much as he does on Facebook. And, I try to put stuff out there, and the city's constantly updating socials with everything that's pertinent. So, it'll be incumbent on us to get that information to the right people. And then hopefully those folks can help amplify that and get those resources to people that desperately need it, whether it's a business, nonprofit, or a resident.
Okay.
Yeah, you're saying that's a big reason why Mark and I wanted to do this, is because I think I get to a point on a pretty regular basis where I want to turn everything off because of how overwhelming it is. And so I don't go to, at some point you just stop going to those websites or turning on the news or whatever to just maintain some sanity, right? So it's been, at least you're doing a good job of posting a lot. So that's where I kind of check to see what's happening. But is there, maybe just to kind of flip it a little bit, I know you're probably getting a lot of crystal ball type questions, right? Like, are the summer programs happening and all that stuff? Are you guys running through all kinds of scenarios, or do you have an operational date in mind as you work through it?
Yeah, so from an operational standpoint, there's a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and plan D, right? So we have all these plans in place. And as this information comes down from the health orders that are coming down, we're having to cancel things. So the rod run's been canceled, like contract classes have been canceled. Most of the summer events have been canceled or pushed out. We're seeing now that as the writing on the wall, right? Like, school's out to the end of the year. So you look at that and you go, okay, what about 4th of July? Is that going to happen? So the contingency was for it to happen. That might not happen. So we don't have any hard dates on things to open back up, just because it's so dependent on public health and saying, okay, now we can sort of phase this in and we can roll it out. We can't say we're going to have a 4th of July parade, and there's so much planning that goes into it. At some point we have to just say that's going to have to wait.
There's so many unknowns. It's hard you just kind of roll with the punches, that's what we're all doing. And I think it's really interesting, your conversation earlier about the domino effect of the revenue or the hotel taxes. And, even though Adam and I are in the finance industry, you kind of forget about these different areas that you're going to start seeing these, pain spots. Being actively involved in the nonprofits, we've seen the domino effect there for sure, personally and with others. So I think it's huge that, you know, this focus is out there on the small businesses, large businesses, and obviously the nonprofits. So we appreciate everything that you're doing out there across the board, and we appreciate the accessibility for sure. It's nice to have this open channel, and we'll probably be circling back with you soon, I'm sure, to get some follow-up updates as well. On the side of what we're trying to do here with Aim for Good, you know, Adam mentioned that, you know, we're looking at a whole palette of different local people, individuals that are in need, you know, whatever we can do locally, but also the nonprofits, and we're trying to spread the word as much as possible. And I know you're actively involved with a lot of nonprofits from your position, but also personally. I don't know at this point if you have any 1, 2, 3, any local nonprofits you think might need some help right now during this crisis. You know, we'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah, I mean, the backbone of our community, right, is our nonprofits and what they do and some of the gaps they're filling. I think, you know, if I had to personally pick one at this point, you know, given the housing crisis that we're seeing in California and the amount of folks that are one paycheck away from being homeless, I think if we could support Habitat for Humanity would be a great investment in our community. That's when we're passionate about and when we personally support. So I would try to steer folks there, because I know things are they're going to be tough for people for a while. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a wonderful organization, and they do amazing work. We'll make sure to add that link on this video and send people their way. So we really appreciate you once again. Appreciate the city. Adam, do you have anything else?
Yeah, before we go, just tell me more about Cooking with Zak.
So it's born out of like a missed opportunity for a career pathway for myself, and the fact that we're home and we have a ton of flour on hand, and there's a lot of people that have things that you know, maybe they want to learn how to cook something. So I'm just using it to try to spread a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
And we have to cook anyways, right? So.
Yeah.
So might as well film it and try to make people.
Are you going to keep it going?
I'm going to keep it going. We had a roof leak in our house, so I spent the last week or so fixing that. So I'll get back to quarantine cooking with Zak as soon as I can.
Nice. Very good. I enjoy it.
You have a name for your show. We need a name for our show. So
quarantine cooking with Zak.
Yeah, good. That's fancy, Zak. All right. Well, thanks again, Zak. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for the time, Zak.
All right. You guys are great. Thanks for everything you do in our community.
Yeah, man. Take care.
No problem. Take care now. Bye.
Bye.